Well, the rumors for
Or
Trent
back?
started way back. The rumors started way back in when we were playing Man City 2023, 24, and the rumors were that his agent, his brother, was meeting with our guys. And in that moment when we lost or when we didn't lose, but when we couldn't get out of our half and had to go to penalties against Man City, I was just thinking, like, just go get Trent, Florentino. Like, we'll get out of our half in one touch. It doesn't matter who's coaching the team. Like, one touch, we'll get out of our half. And we got him. Like, every year we go and get the guy that everyone in Europe would want. And this year it's Trent.
Yes, basically, yeah. Mm. Trent is exponential footballer on every sense. I don't think people still realize the magnitude of a signing like this. I know that we're used to Carvajal and playing at that ridiculous level. You're going to get a different player here. You're not going to get a Carvajal, but you're going to get a player that's more creative in a sense of he can be more of a leader at setting the team forward. We missed that since Alaba basically did his ACL. We didn't have that, so we had to make shift around it. Never perfect. So we got that back. Even though it's from the side, it doesn't really matter because Trent can do everything that you need on the first phase. Progress on the second phase, he behaves like a midfielder for you. And on the final third, he's just your guy. He'll move properly. He will deliver properly. He doesn't need to pray, basically, that it reaches a teammate. It will because of that ridiculous technique that he has. Trent is just everything that you ask for on a fullback. And I know that he has his shortcomings, which we will discuss today, but I'm just pulling together the whole package. Trent is just ridiculous at any level, really, that you want. Everything. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you need him or not, you always need him, if that makes sense.
100%. I mean, it's just you get to a point offensively when you have to play and you're just too good. You create solutions. The game is shaped around the solutions he create as more than the problems he might cause, and by a
Yes,
lot. And so,
Mela.
and I think like it's cool because he played against us in the final when he was just 18, a little 18, 19-year old in
Yeah.
2018. So I mean, I remember when he came onto the scene, this guy, his first season, they weren't like tapping in fully to his creativity. He was still a little more of a traditional fullback. He wasn't like Trent the crosser who gets 12 assists. And I remember Man City when Pep played Klopp, when they played each other 17-18, they tried targeting the space behind Trent with Leroy Sané, and Trent just survived it. They won. I believe every team tried targeting that space, but Trent was good enough. Like, it didn't matter. But 17-18 was like the season he came out was like an okay Liverpool team, a very good big game Liverpool team, but they finished with 70-something points in the league. They weren't some dominant Premier League team. And the big reason for that was Jurgen Klopp always played a style that was conducive to like good points totals, but maybe not 95 points totals. It was way too risky, too much up and down. Basketball games, you would concede a lot of goals. Even his last season, that kind of happened, where too many games became back and forth. They lost control of the title race. However, there was a point when Klopp went from like the 75 to a 97-point coach in one season. And Klopp was not seen as this all-conquering coach before he really did this with Trent and his assistant coach as well at the time. They come together and they put the team to have these eights that kind of recycle the ball, and you spam Trent's crosses. They play a little more positional. They slow the game down more, but they're spamming crosses through Trent. They're winning second balls. And he was the engine offensively, you could argue, of that team, of a 97-point team. Maybe not the engine of the attack, but the engine of the offense, the way it functioned, the style they chose to play, the trade-offs they picked. It wasn't Salah, it wasn't Van Dijk, it was Trent.
It was those Van Dijk to Trent, and then Trent is going to figure out the next play, basically, because, again, as I say, the level of IQ and the level of technique are just off the chart, really, in comparison to any fullback in the world. It's hard to find it. It's very reminiscent of somebody like Philip Lahm, for example, on the way how Trent sees football and his vision. Not saying that he's a Lahm, but I'm saying that on the way how he envisions football is very reminiscent of him. I really like what Trent gives. I really enjoy his football overall. And I just think that he can do way too many things to improve a team. Never understood Gareth Southgate. I mean, I do understand why he didn't play him because he was unable to coach a team
Yeah,
to
because
the
he's an idiot.
level, yeah, to the level. But it's just, I don't understand how you have that level of creativity in your team and you're just not utilizing it because he can't defend 1v1. It's just, that should be one of the easiest solutions to find. Klopp found it pretty easy to do it. Like, did Trent get cooked from time to time? Yes, but which fullback hasn't
And Klopp's,
normally?
Klopp's system also taxes fullbacks a bit. Like it's not easy to defend in a Klopp system. Like we
Yes,
play
because
way
they're
more
so
conservatively.
versatile.
Yeah, we're not gonna like give the ball to Trent and send like half our team running up, and if we lose the ball, it's screwed. We're not really as
Yeah.
aggressive, like historically. And yeah, I mean we did put up with Marcelo for years. Like let's just get to the defense. Like what was the difference between Trent and Marcelo? For me, Marcelo is an overlapping fullback. Trent is a hybrid of Philip Lahm and Kevin De Bruyne. Like he's really not
Yes.
someone. He can drive and release. He doesn't have to release. He's right back De Bruyne, and he can or Fabregas, whatever you want to call it. He has that range. And on the other hand, Marcelo, he wasn't going to be that impactful if he couldn't join the attack. It's not that he couldn't pass, but because he was so good at maneuvering in tight spaces,
Dribbling.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you need him to join the attack to get the press resistance value out of him. And so when you lose the ball, even if you don't play gung ho and you're close together, damn, if like you know how our coaches have been. We've had Carlo a lot. Like Zidane was here, he tried implementing a rest defense, but in general, the rest defense was not good in Zidane's first spell. And so when we lost the ball, we'd get caught out. With Trent, I feel like it's more he loses the ball and like I feel like maybe he's a slightly worse one-on-one defender, but he is not going to get caught out as often. So maybe it won't be that big a deal.
Yeah. And also worth remembering a player that this team has named Federico Valverde, who's gonna shield pretty much majority of the things that Trent is
He
gonna
had
do.
practice with Lucas. So yeah.
Uh, yeah, like complaining about Trent's defense when we're watching practically 8 months of Lucas now is just a weird behavior. I'm gonna be honest. Like Lucas just has zero athleticism in him to begin with. So Valverde is just having is a makeshift right back, basically, even when Lucas plays. So at least he doesn't have to do that. What I think about the dynamics of Trent and Valverde is the fact that they cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. So, for example, like Valverde, you don't really want him to be like that first phase type of player. He's not that. His normal tendencies at this point. We could argue that the
He's a
coaches,
better Jordan Henderson. He's a way better Jordan Henderson, and they paired him with the Trent now.
yeah, with Valverde, we could argue that Zidane and Ancelotti have ruined his potential of being a controller because now he's just so used to driving with the ball and going off the right. You can see that the body orientation is always right-sided, or maybe he's trying to loop into the right to create that fake turn so he gets into the space in the center. So he's not really a passer. He's not really somebody to receive with his back either. So he's not. Valverde is just a weird piece of everything, but he's been miscoached for a very long time now, to the point where I think that they have those tangibles that Ancelotti was trying to install on him this season are just simply gone. I think we have a whole season sample of Valverde just not being the player to stay as a pivot like he was able to do with Zidane on that 2019-2020
Yeah, or
season.
even just with the Cruz double pivot last year. Remember,
Yeah,
like that worked.
yeah.
Both
But
worked.
yeah, but that was Cruz though, like that was with Cruz pretty much like pulling the strings of you move here, you move there, you do this, you do that. So I just think that Valverde is not that guy anymore for that. I had somebody ask me actually from our group, what about him with Uruguay under Bielsa? I think that he does a better job there, but again, it's international football. it's not, he's still much better when he gets to drive forward. That's what you want to do. You want to allow him to either go on a wing and drive or penetrate centrally. His drives are his biggest weapon offensively outside of his shot. While Trent is always going to be a passer, he's going to be a player to set up a tempo from the right side. And he's also going to be like a player that's going to sound weird, but he's going to teach Valverde a few things into movement, into finding him. They're going to create good combinations between one another, I would expect. You're going to see a lot of them interchanging. One inverts and one goes wide. You're going to see that a lot, as you said. The good thing that comes there is that both have extremely good switches of play. Extremely good. Valverde is very accurate with it if he gets the space. Trent can do it in any circumstances, really.
And
But
one touch
I
switch,
think
like
that,
he can one
yeah,
touch switch back to the other side, like off one touch.
yeah,
Crazy.
he just can get you out of tough positions where we often lose the ball this year and ends up being costly. So he can get you out of that. If you
He's
have,
not a controller though. He's not going to replace Cruz. I think someone like
no,
Hudson's
he
going to do a.
doesn't.
I think Hudson's going to have more impact on the central controlling buildup. But Trent, I think, yeah, like you said, he's going to help us escape. Kind of like Mbappe, escaping from every phase is going to feel 10 times easier because you just have this weapon.
Yes.
And it's just about timing how to escape, when coordinating your escape and catching the opposition off guard.
Yes, Madrid fans in general have this tendency of, how do I say it, of not appreciating some of the things because they're not really getting that perfect thing. You know,
Yeah, no, for sure.
am I making sense? Like Mbappe scoring 40 goals this season is bad because apparently Vinicius didn't score as much as he should have to. And we are not pointing fingers at the coach as to why that is happening. It's not Mbappe's fault that Vini is not scoring as much as he scored last season. I would argue it's not even Vini's fault all that much. So if you get like a proper setup, Trent is going to be that ridiculous guy. I think that he's comfortably going to be considered the best right back in world of football. The moment when he's going to step in here, he'll have better players. He'll have a better coach, I want to say, than he had last season. I think Alonso is better than Arne Slot. So he's going to have a better coach, in my opinion. He's going to have better players around him. He's going to be better shielded, and he's going to improve the offense of this already really dynamic team 10 times because he's going to be able to find them with these. Add now the fact that him and Jude already have a relationship. I think those play a part. Add the fact that Jude is great at running, great at getting on the pockets of space. Trent is going to find Jude at all times. You're not going to have those wasted opportunities where Jude's energy is just gone just like that because Lucas is unable to find him or the team is not set up to be able to find him on those phases. So
Trent
Jude is
was
going to
also
be.
he's also succeeded without guys who can necessarily head, like very good at drilled ground crosses. So
Yes,
no
exactly.
matter what, the angles will open up with him. No matter how you need the ball to curve and bend, if you need it to go straight 90 degrees and then hard left, he knows how
Yeah,
to do it
it
too.
will. It will. You know, like it will. It genuinely will. Like it feels like everything that he wants to do to the ball, it just happens. Because keep in mind, like Sadio Mane is not like some Cristiano Ronaldo
Mane, Firmino, and
level of
Salah are not
jumping.
like, even Firmino wasn't some crazy. He wasn't Benzema even, not even close. And so
Not even
Henderson
close.
and Wijnaldum were good, fine, but we have the Jude and the Fede, like we have that. And so our
We
attackers
have
are
that, but actual good footballers on top of getting their athleticism. We actually have like good footballers around too.
100%. And so on that note, what do you think the fullback pairing has to look like in a four at the back? You think someone like Trent makes a back three possible? See, I feel like the whole thing is he's a
No.
playmaker. He's not a wing back in a back five. He has to be a right
Yeah,
back in
he's
a back
not.
four.
Yeah, he
Or
has
he's a
to be.
midfielder in a back four. Or a midfielder in a back four. You don't think?
I think that this midfielder is like Southgate type of like very mediocre coaching where you're just trying to shoehorn somebody because being a midfielder takes more than just being a good passer, right? Like it takes a lot of discipline, which we lacked, as we have seen. Like we conceded four to Barca in one hole because our pivot were Ceballos and Valverde, notoriously known for leaving their spaces open. you would get the same as Trent. I don't think that Trent is, unless you want to coach him into that, I think that can happen. But do you really want to lose a generational right back, literally a player that is going to define this whole generation? I don't say the word generational loosely, by the way.
I
I
think if
genuinely
he,
mean that
no, I
Trent
agree.
is one of a kind. You know, it's like,
Well, I was just saying, I think if you ever worry about him defensively, you can always do the thing where you play him right in front of a more defensive Fede, right in that zone, and then he still
yeah,
plays wide, kind of like a wide right deep De Bruyne role, like a shuttler. Just you don't put him in the back four if you're afraid of like space behind him, and then you put him in.
yeah,
But no matter what, I agree. He needs to play like in the wide right half space. He needs to be pinging it directly from there. He doesn't need to be a central player. I just meant, do you see maybe in certain games Alonso repositions him? The thing is, he's not bad defensively. Like, I just don't feel like he gets targeted one-on-one unless the team is already weak defensively.
yeah, and his defensive shortcomings. You mentioned Marcelo before, right? Marcelo's positional awareness was zero. Marcelo might have been good at 1v1s, at putting his foot in after he sees the whole action, but his defensive awareness was close to zero.
You
I
think much
think
worse than Trent?
Yeah, Trent is much better at that. Trent is worse though at defending the attackers and reading the attackers' body language. But then again, if Trent can just slow down the attacker, he's getting the help. At least in Madrid, he's getting the help. And even if you look at our center backs, like available center backs, let's say that who's going to play on the right side? It's probably going to be Rudiger, Militao, and Asensio, right? Those are going to be like the guys that mostly are going to deploy on the right side. What are you getting there? Aggressiveness. Players that pull in, players that pull out if needed, players that are gonna chase that. So Trent just needs to be able to slow it down, and then I think Fede, the pivot Chouameni, or the right eight, if we want to call it, Valverde, they're gonna sort out the rest of it. I think that the team is gonna be fine for as long as he can slow it down. That's all what he needs to do. Slow it down. It's gonna be covered. I see no problem with that on this team at the very least. I think that he picked the perfect team in terms of squad composition to join.
And
But
Ballon d'Or trajectory as well, and just platforming his career. It was a great choice at a great time. Like, you want to upgrade,
yeah,
this is where you come.
exactly. And we had Carvalho playing like at all-time level, then get that injury. So now pretty much Carvalho is gonna be fine, completely being his backup. And you're still gonna get Carvalho. We don't know the state that Carvalho returns in, but it's still gonna be much better than Lucas. Even now, literally, if you put him on field right now, Carvalho is gonna be better because apparently he can now walk. So that's more than the productivity that Lucas is gonna bring. So there is a huge difference to this team. Again, we have spoken about the coach. You mentioned a little bit the signing of a left center back that's going to solve a lot of problems with the ball on the build-up. I mean, and the way of how the team progresses forward. But it's Trent that's going to be that glue. So basically, you're probably going to try to do what Liverpool of Klopp did.
You're going to build around Trent.
Yeah, your left center back is pretty much just going to try and find Trent as open as possible. Trent is so good at getting out the space. If you get pressed high, Trent is going to kill that with one move. You just need a good passer out of the back to find
He gives
it.
Highlines honestly, he's the Highline killer. He's the De Bruyne or the Fabregas.
Yeah.
No, he's a Fabregas because, like, to this day, the only player I've seen who breaks the high line from like 20, 30 meters into his own half was Cesc. And like the most iconic moment was Cesc for Antonio Conte's Chelsea 3-1. You remember when he played in the double pivot with Matic? He found Diego Costa going long. Trent is the closest I've got to that feeling in football, where from your half, you can find anybody no matter where they are. I can't wait. I mean, we could build like the best transition offense, like one that actually competes with our 2010s teams now because we have this.
Yeah. For Madrid fans, it's pretty much think of the way how Toni Kroos would switch the ball. He's just going more vertically.
Much more vertically.
Yeah. He's just going more vertically. So you're not going to need that. I'm not saying that the way how Kroos did it was bad. Of course, that's great for recycling possession, safety of the team. But what I mean is that it's going to need, at bare minimum, one less extra pass to get to the goal. So that's very likely going to up your goal numbers, your creativity level is just gonna be upped, even if he's not directly getting those assists, which he might not, but he's gonna get the team to make those happen. And that's exactly what we care about. It's a team sport. It's 11 players on a bench. I don't
Nope.
want to play trying and 10 others suffer. I want 11 players to play football. Some have to sacrifice. As I said, Valverde is going to be one of these guys, but he's also going to benefit from having Trent, because Trent is going to hide some of the flaws that Valverde has and probably amplify Valverde's game. Because, well, let's say that you want to press Trent for some reason. Let's say that a team goes like, okay, we can't let this guy get the ball. Well, then Valverde is going to have all the space in the world to just drive forward and get on his positions. And it's just like, you're gonna get those quality moments at consistent level with Trent, because he's gonna force the opponents to consistently have to think, readjust, have them keep positional awareness at all times, which we currently don't got. We make it all too easy for the opponents. Like, if there was one annoying thing about Liverpool, was the fact that Trent was a key piece of how much they made you think during the games. They just
Yes.
made you think all times. Where are they going to move? What the next pattern is going to be? Because they were never settled into that. Yes, the actions might have ended the same way, but then not settled into there is one way, because you had a fully overlapping fullback in Robertson on the other side, when you would have Trent just switch up to that. That can be your left winger. That can be Vini 1v1. And now let's just think about that. Instead of Robertson, it's Vini who's getting the ball, and he's 1v1 against the fullback. So good luck to that fullback. I hope you end up alive by the end of that action, because Vini, without having to touch the ball a million times and getting in dangerous spaces, that's a dangerous thing. So
Yeah,
again,
when he's not bringing it into the box on his own. Yeah, 100%.
think of it like his performance against Bayern Munich, which I believe last season, I believe was Ancelotti's best coached game last year. When Marcelo, I know that we needed Marcelo goals, but I thought that Madrid were very front-footed, were very good at blocking the passing lanes. Yes, they did need a little bit of saving from the center backs, but that's very normal. The team played well, and Vini put arguably one of the better performances that I've seen in my life. Like Joshua Kimmich.
Yeah, definitely.
Kimmich hasn't played right back since that game, so that's the damage that Vini can cause.
Yeah, but that definitely excited to see Trent to Vini and Mbappe. I'm still worried without a striker. If I still think the angles get limited. If you can give Trent the air and the ground, it's over. Like, it's just broken. If we could give him Cristiano, Benzema, Bale, imagine. But like, I'm not.
You could give him Jude. You could give him Jude. Jude is excellent at making those late runs. If basically you just need proper coaching of Mbappe drops, Jude goes up. You didn't get that this season.
Yeah, a Jude,
really
and then like and then a Murici or someone like you mentioned off the bench.
Yeah. You're gonna need that. You're gonna need a number 9, in my opinion, to fully utilize it. Oh, imagine a team, pinned down in La Liga at like 0-0 in the 70th minute, and Trent is getting all the time in the world. And you have like a big center on the box who can create separation, like Marcelo did. That's not going to end up pretty for them. So it's like 100%. It's a guaranteed win at that point if you're giving Trent that much time. And if they want to press Trent.
Yeah, and I just want to pull up some stats.
Yeah.
Let me just get these stats here because we got to wrap up soon. Premier League assists, 64, I think the most ever by a defender, 13 single season assists in 2019-20. He crossed 10 plus assists in 18-19, 19-20, 21-22. I don't think any defender has even done that twice, 10 plus assists in the Premier League. And then I think a record 0.26 assists per game, or he just has one of the highest, or if not the highest assist rate in Premier League history. And this is ridiculous. He's at 0.28 assists per 90 now, the highest. And then his expected assisted goals, he had 0.38 expected assisted goals in 21-22, 99th percentile, top 1% of fullbacks. And I think that's like just best creator in Europe type numbers. So very high expected
overall. You said just fullbacks.
And his career expected assisted goals is even higher, 0.29. Like this guy just creates more than even the assists reflect. And what else? Very high passes into final third, expected threat. Progressive passes, I believe he is 8.51. So he covers the ground, he covers the distance. 8.5 is pretty crazy for a right back.
8.5?
It's a lot. It's a lot. And 255 passes into the final third. No, that was in 2024. Never mind. And he has more assists than almost everyone who's come into the Premier League since his debut, and the only defender in those lists, obviously. But long story short, like he's the best shot creating action creator, expected assist, expected threat, progressive passes from fullback we've seen in forever. And the guys who did it like him just didn't have the assists. Like Cancelo's, like good creation, not like 10 assists per season every season. Or like even Marcelo, great output, but if you go look, he wasn't even getting as many assists. He was creating a lot. He was like a secondary midfield style creator. Trent is like the primary guy from right back. I'm just so curious to see how it goes. Like, so you're saying we're pretty much going to be like Liverpool going forward. We're going to be built around Trent. We don't need a controller. And combined with our previous episode, you think Alonso's going to kind of lean into this, play a back four in that event? You think on the other side of the back four, that's why we're interested in someone like Carreras who can. Do you think we're going to play conservative fullbacks? We're not going to go the gung ho fullbacks high and wide. The Cristiano Benzema come in. It's going to be more wide wingers, deeper fullbacks, right?
I think that on the right side you're going to get more Valverde on the right / Mbappe, Jude filling in. And on the left, I think that Alonso is going to want to lock Vinicius as much as possible. So this team just simply turns into right heavy at the start and then switches to the left to kind of finish things off, because that's where majority of the quality is coming from. But now they can do that. They actually can, because Trent enables that. I'm just still stuck at that progressive passes for 90. Because like David Alaba on his last season with Bayern Munich was at like 6.4. That dropped by half under Ancelotti, of course, that Ancelotti. But being higher than Alaba, it really took me at a shock. I didn't know that it was that high.
Alaba was a 9.4 in the treble, but that was a shortened year, not the same. But
I mean, on the season that he joined, the season prior. Yeah, I think he was at 6.8 per 90, something like that.
So he was at 8 the year before he joined us. Then he bumps down to 4.5, like you say, and that's crazy. And this is his lowest year. It's been low since. He doesn't even hit 4 since the first year. So
on the first year we pretty much gave him a lot of build-up responsibilities, and only 4. So Trent under a coach like Alonso, I think it's looking good. You're not going to get these runs like Jeremy Frimpong, but you're getting a whole different package, which this is arguably the most excited that I've been for a signing since Luka Modric in 2012. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'll say straight up, Trent was my dream. Pull up my Twitter. He'll get tweets from like 5 years ago at this point of me just begging for the guy to play for Madrid, and the day has come. So I'm really excited about it. Like, he was my guy always. He's just way too good.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
We are excited. Trent, Mbappe, and Jude in consecutive summers. If a player is on your wish list, we're probably knocking on the door. So it's awesome to be a fan of this club when they're making the right moves in a summer where everything seems to be going the right direction. May not manifest immediately at the Club World Cup, but we'll find out. We'll have a lot more content coming soon. Please like, subscribe, leave comments. We're trying to remind people that we just got started again. Both of us had taken hiatus at points. So please share the word that the deal is out.
Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know that the quality is not up to par as of yet. We're aware of it. We're going to try to fix it. I hope that there were no audio issues again on this one. And as Sid said, like, subscribe. Don't forget, always comment your thoughts down below. We're always interested to look into them, because they might give us like ideas, or we might do like some reply to comments episodes in the future. So make sure you leave them. And that's about it. Thanks.